is, I guess. And I am Hako, currently known as Artist Poet on PlayStation Network. HakoBot was my original name. Again, like I've mentioned so many times before, a buddy of mine suggested that I strongly suggested that I change my name because a lot of people won't understand that Hako means box in Japanese, and bot is short for robot, which is Slavic for servant or slave too. Um, Popularized by the by a movie from I think back in the 20s and 30s or something like that. But anyway, so yeah, I'm sticking with Hako because that is my name. That is my first name on this on PlayStation Network, and it's I'm gonna be there. Anyway, aside from that point, so it is now Sunday afternoon, and I am still restricted from playing Gambit. Oh, shocker! And any kind of PvP. Trials of Osiris, Control, Showdown, Iron Banner, which hurts. It cuts deep. I wasn't even able to get my powerful gear off of the Freelance Glory, and definitely couldn't get private match. And all of a sudden, contacting Destiny 2 servers. Now, I want to tell you something here. Check this out. See that my connection is actually quite shit. Before I started this broadcast, it was actually all the way up, full up, right there. Look at my clan. My clan is not even there finally, but the guys who are actually playing this morning finally loaded in. This shit. This is what I'm talking about. This is what peer-to-peer connection does to people's game state, to people's connection. All these open fire teams, I've come to the conclusion, are people that I'm connected to, because that's what a peer-to-peer connection is. It's basically like I mentioned in an earlier video, it's like a BitTorrent. Everybody in the server carries a seed, or basically a file. Put it all together, it makes the actual file you want to download, be it a set of rules for an RPG or tabletop game, or maybe it's a Nintendo or Sony or Xbox ported game for PC. And most times it was anime. That's when I first learned about BitTorrents, was through anime on the 4chan boards. And I've never done it myself because I didn't want it to put my computer at risk. Because you don't know what you're downloading. It could have something. It could have a virus in it. It could have some corruption on it. But basically, that's what a peer-to-peer connection is. It is basically all of us pulling together our connections to support a server, as opposed to the company, the service provider, actually going out and paying for a dedicated server. I mean, we already pay for an annual pass. We pay for part of this game is the strikes, the nightfall, and some Crucible stuff. I think Trials of Osiris is still free to play. I don't know. I paid for my game, okay, and now I got restricted because they say that my connection is habitually poor. Okay, well, if my connection is that shit, that it's a detriment to other players, because that's what they're saying here when you go into this. It's blah 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 blah. The more detailed version of what I got when I first got the restriction, it says something about my connection is consistently poor, or has a history of disconnects, and this is bad for your fellow players. Well, if that's the case, how come I can load into Grandmaster Nightfalls? I'm gonna have to be with a there whatsoever. No problems at all. No problems here. No problems here. Um, and see, this is the thing. The reason why I was playing solo. There's no raid here. I'm silly. Here we go. Here's the raid. There we go. Yeah, see? Raid. Okay, raid. Okay, yeah. Yeah. See, check that out. So if my connection is so bad that it's going to harm the game experience for PvP people, why am I allowed to do PvE? I'm going to matchmake into a random lobby with two guys who are doing a strike. I mean, if they can't complete the strike because my connection is so bad, then, why am I allowed to do a strike? Why is it just PvP? And I'm not going to tell you why it's just PvP. I'm going to tell you why it's just PvP. I think it has all to do with the fact that they're power gating. I really do. I don't know, it sounds targeted. It sounds conspiracy theory. Yep, there we go. Anytime I stream, it does this. Now, I know it does this because of that. And I'm going to be honest. I am on Wi-Fi. I am about 60 feet away from the router, and there is approximately one wall between me and the router. Okay? One wall, and granted, it is the It is the laundry room wall because we're kind of like in an apartment duplex kind of situation here where we have a washer and dryer in the house. Now, that machinery is not running right now. As you can hear, the only thing you hear in the background is the sound of my room fan, which is set on low, and it is approximately 25 feet away from my wife, from my console. And then I know, those of you out there who know how Wi-Fi signals work, how any kind of radio signals work, or any kind of microwave signals or Bluetooth, whatever they want to call it, whatever it is, signals in general, the electromagnetic field created by my fan can cause some impedance, but not to the point where my signal strength is lower than 80%. I have consistently an 80 to 90% signal strength back here on this console. I could play games like The Elder Scrolls Online and Cyrodiil, which is their PvP arena. I could play Cyrodiil, or I can play TESO Arena, which is a 4v4 matchup. I can play Conan Exiles PvP official North American servers, where I am actually playing with people from the UK because the UK servers are so fucking dead, and the LATAM servers are non-existent, that people from other countries are coming to the US, North America, official PvP servers to play with us. And now it has been quiet over the last few weeks because everyone's basically waiting for the Isle of Sipta to come out so we can all go run over there and play it. But during the summertime, when it was the most crowded, we had upwards of 20 players on a server on Conan Exiles. The worst possible condition I had to deal with was trying to run away from somebody who was actually using hacks, who actually even admitted later on, a week later or so, when he got banned by Funcom for playing, that he was using speed hacks so that he could catch us and kill us. I don't ever have lag in that game, apart from maybe some high traffic moments, like if like all my neighbors are streaming sports, okay, like on a Monday Night Football night, or Sunday's big game. Anytime there's like a massive, media event where it's kind of like a guarantee that there's going to be everybody attending it. Yeah, okay. And I don't live in a rich neighborhood, okay? I don't live in what I would call a middle class, affluent neighborhood. I live more or less in a pretty poor neighborhood. So I know that the infrastructure out here is not the best. I know that the ISP guys, they do their measured best. But I pay for internet just as much. I pay for just as much internet as anybody else does. Okay, not just in this neighborhood, but in nicer neighborhoods too. No, it's not military grade hardware. It isn't. It will never be. Our government is, because it's privatized the internet. It's like that'll never be the case. We will never have the infrastructure that other countries have because it's all about that bottom line. And I really do think that this restriction shit is bullshit. I think that if Bungie really wants to make sure that their PvP experience is a balanced and stable environment, then they need to go to dedicated servers. I will go on record right now to say that I will pay an extra $10 a month for dedicated PvP servers. I will pay that. If they offered Iron Banner as a weekend event like they do the Trials of Osiris, and you pay a subscription to access this and this and this, I will pay that subscription because I love this. I've actually learned to love this a lot. Why this isn't completed right now? I'll tell you why. Because come Tuesday, I got busy. All right, I did all the strike and gambit shit with my warlock. I was playing my warlock for the first time in months. I actually started playing two characters. And since the warlock's my alt, I play him first. That's kind of the system. You play your alts first, and then hopefully they get some guns that you can then put on your main, and then that'll help him or her level up. Because you can't play three of the same class. Bungie doesn't want you to do that. I'm still trying to find the documentation that points out with numbers and facts what is wrong with that. How would that affect the game environment negatively if I wanted to play three hunters and have a maxed out hunter in the end? The only way that actually has a basic negative impact to everybody else who's not doing that is here, right in here. Because if I go into a raid or a Grandmaster Nightfall or a Grandmaster Lost Sector or anything else like that, my teammates are going to love the fact that I'm that high level. They're all going to want to be that high level too. But right here, this is where it's going to be the most problem. because it's not power leveling, it's not power matching anymore. You can't you I don't I think you lock gear for here, so they should lock gear down here as well, because I know that there used to be a trick where in Iron Banner, some people would come in and they would lobby in with their high power levels, or they would lobby in, excuse me, with their lowest power level gear, and they would get matched against people at the same similar levels, and then 2 minutes into the match, all of a sudden you start seeing the power levels jumping, and they would just sweep the fucking lobby. I know that's been a thing, okay? So I know that's a problem. I know that's why. That's the only thing I could think about, is that because power levels are enabled here and here, that they don't want us max leveling. And then here's the point. I mean, here's the point I'm trying to make here. It doesn't matter if I'm leveling, if I'm dedicated to, if I'm committing to power levels. I'm doing that not as the end all be all of my game. I'm doing that to help me in my end game. My end game being Trials of Osiris, Iron Banner, the raids, the nightfalls, doing the empire hunts, doing the exo challenges, doing the nightmare hunts, doing the memory quests, fucking around in the blind well over here, fucking around over here on the tangled shore, fucking around anywhere, you know, playing some I mean, because be honestly, strikes, gambit, and in basic quick play crucible, it's all power, it's all battle leveled. Doesn't matter if you're 1260 or 1050, you go in at the same level. All your guns and all your armor is going to punch at the same level. The only thing that's going to be different with your armor and weapons is what mods you put on them. That's it. What stat rolls you got. That's it. That's all that's going to count. And honestly, if Bungie really wanted to go ahead and, totally and truly make a balanced PvP environment, they would not only battle level everybody in quick play, but they would also battle level everybody's stats in quick play. So therefore, if I went in, like right now, because of Powerful Friends and Radiant Light, I have a 60 in my melee and a 96 in my mobility, and I'm able to put more points into things like recovery and durability. I don't care too much about grenades. I get grenades all the time. So if they wanted to totally since they already battle level this, and they disable the artifact, by the way, for Iron Banner as well, and they want to go ahead and turn this 1253 to, like, I don't know, what's the ceiling, what's the floor on this season right now? 1060? 1250? I think it is 1250, right? 1250 is when blue gear starts, rares start dropping. Rares have a cap at 1250. So let's say 1250 is the soft cap. So if I'm like 1240, 1235, I'm going to be punched at 1250. So then why not just baseline all these stats? So and the only thing that matters now are the mods, like say targeting mods, but then they could baseline that. In fact, they could just go ahead and say all you get to pick is your weapon and your exotic armor piece and your subclass, and that's it. Everything else is uniform. Okay? It doesn't matter what you pick an exotic to give you the power. Excuse me. You pick the exotic to give you the perk for the exotic. You pick one exotic weapon to give you a perk and a weapon class, okay? Your ghost, you can tool or whatever like that. Your artifact, maybe you can tool around with that if you want to, but all the mods, all the other mods and shit, all the other numbers and shit is all standard. Then we're going to see a change in the PvP environment. Then we're going to see people who are going to be like playing because they want to play. Because that's it. I'm not playing for a leaderboard. I'm not flipping accounts to sell to other players who don't have the time to fucking grind. Okay? I know there are people, I know some people who do that. They do it for their friends. And I know it's a violation of the TOS. I'm not gonna roll on those people because that's their own risk. But I'm not doing that. I'm not flipping accounts. I'm not doing what do they call it? What do they call it? Account recoveries. Okay. I'm not cheating to get perks. I'm not cheating to get mods or weapons or exotics or anything like that. I'm not cheating. I don't cheat. I play solo variations of Magic the Gathering and Warhammer 40k Kill Team and I've got on order an RPG that has a solo play system, and it's mostly just about strategizing your character builds and then testing it against a random AI. Okay, it really is like playing an analog video game. I won't even cheat in that. Okay, it's just not who I am, and I can understand Bungie wanting to say, hey, your connection's not good, it's got some problems, we're going to go ahead and take you out of the environment until you fix it. But there's no way to show them that you fixed it. I could just as easily be playing in the front room right now, where the console that we have there, which is my wife's console, is literally like 3 feet away from the modem and the Wi-Fi router. She could technically landline into the modem, but that's like we don't need to bother with that. It's like a 98 to 100% Wi-Fi connection out there. There's never an attention contacting Destiny service across the bottom, except and my son does play on that console too. He does play Elder Scrolls, and he does play Battlefront and Destiny. A couple of weeks ago, no, about a week ago, he was playing in Destiny. He was playing, some PvP, and he started getting attention contacting Destiny service on the bottom of his screen. And shortly after he got that, he started noticing people in his lobby getting bounced out of the game. Somebody was DOSing in the game. Okay, and then why did I get my ass restricted? Because that could be what's happening. What if I'm just that lucky that I end up in a lobby 3 out of 5 times where there's a cheater in the lobby, and maybe that cheater is on my team? I'm going to get freaking restricted from playing PvP because I was sharing a lobby with that person? That's bullshit. That's like arresting the customers in a liquor store that just got held up. There's got to be a better way to do this, and there's got to be a better system to appeal it, because it is guilty until proven innocent. And like, I'm all for banning cheaters. I'm all for restricting people who have shit-tastic connections. But if Bungie really wants to make that a front that they want to push, that they feel that they need to push, then how about allowing us to have geo-filtering? Okay, I only want to play with North American players because they're geographically peer-to-peer connected to me. I don't have to go over a satellite or 3 or 4. I don't have to go transatlantic cables or transpacific cables. I don't have to worry about somebody, hanging out next to a Walmart on a hotspot in Canada. No offense to Canada, by the way. I'm just saying. And I mean, it's frustrating. It's frustrating, and that's so easy for them to do. It is really so easy for them to either set up some dedicated servers and migrate the game over to that for PvP, for the competitive PvP at least for Iron Banner and Trials of Osiris and the comp. Okay, at least for that shit. Leave the quick play, free to play shit out there for peer to peer if you want, and then just let them have at it. And more importantly, stop making bounties that require final blows, because I'm going to tell you right now, that's a lot of the problem too. I haven't seen such a rash of cheaters since Destiny's 1 as I have seen after, like, this is right here. This is good. Assisted. Okay, that's fine. Defeat. Okay, with any kinetic weapon. I got to have the final blow to make that count. I got to have the final... Well, that's obviously picking up there. And Rumble complete matches. Okay, so these are pretty forgiving. But there's a lot of other bounties out there that require you to get final blow. And that is, you're competing not only with your opponents, but with your teammates as well for kills. And everyone's competing for kills. And I mean, 6v6 is a great way to get some bounties done up. 6v6 is a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun playing in a massive, team versus teams kind of setup. Rumble has its place in my play style as well too. I mean, I'm 1v5 most times when I play PvP anyway. I don't think about my teammates most times. I watch them, I see who's weak, and then I realize, okay, that guy's got obviously some high competition over there. I want some of that. So I'll run over. Maybe I can help him recover. Maybe I can help him get some cover and he can heal up. Maybe I can go ahead and soften the target a little bit for him to get the final blow, to get the kill. Most times, believe it or not, I'm really not giving a shit about bounties. I mean, I'm really not. Powerful gear has its place, and you can earn it for pretty much anything else. But I care about these. I care about the pinnacle bounties. I care about Iron Banner. Iron Banner's been my thing. You can hit up anybody on my friends list who's still playing Destiny, and they'll ask them, hey, what was Hako doing during Destiny 1, 1 week out of the month? Could you ever get him into a raid? No, rarely. No, if it was Iron Banner, that's all he was doing. I'm a little butthurt. I'm going to admit that. I'm butthurt, and I'm a bit insulted. But, there are some solutions there, and I've been talking about these solutions for close to 2 years. Really, because I've done the research. I've gone out and I've looked into how do other people do PvP in their games. What are the things that they set up, to ensure that the connection is stable? Because that's what happens. Is if you make sure that the connection is stable, regardless of what the idiots with the lag switches can do, then you'll be able to see who's lag switching. You'll be able to see who's hacking. You'll be able to see who's doing the exploits and stuff like that. You'll be able to tell. Take a look at my Light GG profile, artist poet. Spell it like it sounds. You can look me up, DestinyTracker.com. You can see I'm not a stellar PvP player, but I have fun playing. So bring back skill-based matchmaking. Let me go ahead and run around with the rest of the little gremlins, as Aztec Cross and Cactus call us. Let me go ahead and slum it with the casuals in Iron Banner. Bring back some skill-based matchmaking. Bring back connection-based matchmaking. I don't know what your matchmaking is, dudes, because it's unsortable. It's unsussable. It's sus. It is suspect. Am I going to stop playing Destiny? At the present time, not really. Mostly because I got this, I saw this video that Cactus, or I think it was Cactus, or maybe it was Aztec Cross. He made a video about, how to migrate off of the Warmind cells, because those guns are going to get sunsetted eventually, and start, featuring, Charged with Light and taking light kind of stuff. And so I'm saving up materials to basically convert this into a solar cloak, so that I can go ahead and put on, well, no, I want to do a void cloak is what I want to do. I want to do stacks on stacks, because you can carry 2 stacks of light with you, and with this on, I could then go ahead and carry 4 stacks. I do take a -10 to my recovery, but there are ways to mitigate that with armor mods, and so that's why, like I said, I'm hunting now high recovery armor, so that I can go ahead and drop more recovery on it, so that I can keep that number roughly around 7. I just want to keep that around 7, because I've noticed that anything more than that really doesn't matter on a hunter. I don't know. Warlock, it definitely is worth it. But like I said, that's why I'm playing right now, because that's the fun part about Destiny for me, is all the tooling and stuff like that. I mean, because the guns are really pretty much whatever. Right now I'm trying to see who's got the best accuracy. Not you. But you do. Okay. But that's kind of all I want to rant about, is the fact that if you're going to restrict me because my connection is suspect, then it should be a straight out, you don't get to do any playlist. No strikes, no gambit, no crucible. You're stuck with patrols. And more importantly, why the fuck am I not allowed to play with friends? If my connection with other players is detrimental, and you suspect me, of deliberately, hamstringing my connection for an advantage, why can't I do private matches? How's this? How about allowing us to complete Iron Banner, and how about allowing us to complete, Crucible quests and pursuits in private matches? Or wouldn't that remove the need for cheaters? Because that's the only reason why cheaters exist. Because they're guys who want to win, need to win all the time, or they're people who are, have no time to invest in the games, but they want to get shit done, or they've hired somebody who is cheating, because for them it's all about volume. Okay, for the account recoverers, it's all about volume. That's how they make the money. And so it's like, why can't we get bounties done with our friends and our clans? Just require it to be a 6v6 match. You got to have 12 players in order to unlock pursuits in private matches. And I don't understand why I'm not allowed to have private matches. Obviously, the people that I would invite in to play would know who I am. I mean, that's pretty much how that works. I could have LFG for 11 other people, or 3 other people, or whatever. But, they're going to know exactly what's going on. They're going to see immediately whether or not I'm cheating. They're going to know it. It's going to be obvious, because they're all going to know they're not cheating. So if there's crap going on in the lobby, and you've got perfect connection, Bungie, because you're just so awesome with your servers, then it's obviously my fault. But I'm telling you, it's not. That's what I'm saying. You can't say it's my fault. You're blaming me for the laziness of your development team, and you're blaming other players like me for that. And I think that's kind of shit. That, that's the way almost all legal systems work. All kind of justice systems work that way. You will eventually catch people here and there who just happen to be in the wrong space at the wrong time. If that's the case, that happens. Okay, that's fine. But I think it's bullshit that if the reason you give me is because my connection is poor, and it's detrimental to other players, then I shouldn't be allowed to do strikes either, or raids. It just sounds like you're pushing a PvP player to trying doing this shit. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't care. I really don't. So anyway, wow, is this the 5 stages of griefs right now? I'll just accept it now. I'll just accept it. I'll just accept the fact that I probably will not play PvP or Gambit ever again in this game. At which point, since those are the only two activities that I actually play in this game, because damn, I missed Prison of Elders so much. I miss Prison of Elders so much that, believe it or not, I do load up the Strike Warden of Nothing just to fucking have that feeling again. Just to fucking go there again. You know, that's sad, isn't it? Yeah, I bet that. I bet you can. I bet you can feel that, can't you? I don't know. I mean, like I said, I've still got the character I can fuck around with. Eventually, I'm going to find a game where I can do that kind of tooling and tinkering with my builds for a character, and then just let it go on its own and see what happens. Um, oh wait, no, there is a game for that. Raid Shadow Legends. No, sorry, I don't have any promo codes for you, but I do recommend if you really want to play that way, if you're all about the builds and you're all about the combos and you're all about the strategy, the pre-game strategy, that is a good game to get into. And it's free to play. Yeah, that is amazing, isn't it? Free to play, fun. Also, the Magic the Gathering little card strike. Magic the Gathering Mana Strike game is also the same way. Lots of pre-game strategies, um, free to play as well. Although there are some incentives to purchase because it is run by Hasbro, and the bottom line does end up with their pockets, so they want money. Um, but yeah, there's pay to progress elements in that Mana Strike, which is why I don't play it so much anymore. And also because, like I said, I've developed a pretty decent AI. So if I really feel the need to play some Magic the Gathering against myself, I could do that pretty easily. Uh, but yeah, I guess this is the acceptance part. Okay, right? Is that see denial, anger, sorrow, bargaining? No, denial, anger, bargaining, sorrow, or grief, and then acceptance. Okay, so thank you all, anybody out there who took the time to watch this and journey with me through my 5 stages of fuck off. Or if you feel the same, feel free to share this, spread it around. Maybe we can start a forum or a petition and let Bungie know that hey, there are some of us out there who pay for your game and buy the season pass and buy the annual pass and buy the expansions and would totally be okay with paying a subscription to access a weekly Trials of Osiris and a monthly Iron Banner and maybe even like private matches that count towards pursuits. Is that pay to win at that point? That could kind of be pay to win, um, but yeah, I would totally pay for dedicated servers when it came to these three activities, just because they do mean a lot to people, and they are competitive, and they are what the esports is going to end up being. You don't see esports control. You'll see esports Trials of Osiris, and you'll see some esport type stuff in Iron Banner, but not control. Not even an elimination or rumble. And that's bullshit. I'm sorry. It's just bullshit. Uh, anyway, thanks for watching. Leave a comment, leave a like, share, subscribe. The usual YouTube shit, but chances are I'm probably going to leave this up for a little while and then maybe even take it down in about a week or so. I don't know. We'll see what the fuck happens. We'll see what the numbers do. Not doing it for the numbers. Really am just trying to get the message out there that if Bungie's going to restrict an account because of its connections being suspect, it's just as I get just as much flips and playing games for other people, they would see that. But I only ever play Artist Poet. That's who I am right now. That's kind of you'll see it right there. Doing. It doesn't say anything else. I don't change the name. You can't be Artist Poet in two different accounts. You have to be Artist Poet 1, Artist Poet 2, Artist Poet fucking another whatever kind of numbers at the end, underscores, dashes, and shit like that. So it's not like I'm doing that. It's obvious. So if I wanted to cheat to progress, I could cheat just as easily in raids and strikes as I could cheat in Iron Banner and Trials of Osiris. I mean, the raid weapons are better than the Trials weapons from everybody's telling me right now that you could totally get really, really good raid weapons and some pretty decent rolls on an average, pool. As opposed to Trials weapons, you're only stuck with the one adept mod and the one adept weapon a week. So I don't know, man. your intent is, I support your intent. I totally support and endorse your attempt and your intent, but your execution is a little bit sus, dudes. So somebody change my mind, please. And if there's a reason why if there's a legitimate game harming reason to not play three of the same class, somebody find me the doc and link it to me, please. Because I've been looking. I look for it every other day. When I'm waiting for coffee to brew or whatever the fuck, or paint to dry, I'm like, got nothing else better to do. I go out into the Reddits and I go out to Google Spaces and I go out all over the place, social medias, and everyone was just kind of like, well, they just say that it's not a good experience. But where's the proof to that? Pushing people over in a street ball game is not a good experience. Okay, elbowing somebody in a soccer match is not a good experience. Playing on amphetamines is not a good experience for other players. Cheating is not a good experience. But stacking your classes to power level. What are you afraid of? Really, what's the point? So I'll leave it on that note. I'm out of here.